Introducing Nneka Otim, located in Smyrna, Georgia, specializing in natural hair, all types.
I'm a good sister lock person. You know, it's hard to find. Like my client who's coming to me from Texas, she can't find someone in Texas. So I know it gets challenging, but then you just have to find other alternatives. But if it's something that's causing you to hurt or be in pain, that can't be what's for you.
Right.
So you have to just think about what options you have. We always have options. Sometimes we think in our mind we don't, but you always have options. You have to believe that. So
Welcome to Tunisia's Locs, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri, the channel where we get it all in. You can also learn more about the I Am Melanin Magic brand. Thank you for stopping by. You want long locks,
luscious hair, radiant skin, want to look and feel good?
then I Am Melanin Magic is your brand.
I am Melanin Magic,
And so are you.
look, long time coming.
It's been a long time coming.
And I love this ring.
Thank you.
Girl, it's getting like got
Takes
it.
one to know one. Okay, everybody. The beautiful Nica of green gold. Green gold. Welcome to the channel. I am so excited to talk with you because you know when we talk.
Yeah.
But it's been a while and I have really missed you.
I miss you too.
Yeah, and I wanted to catch up and see like what's going on with you, with Green Gold, with the hair business. Can you give us a little bit of insight, Nica, into your history with hair and how you evolved to be someone who, you know, did my hair for many years?
Well, I guess it's a long story, but I'm gonna try to make it short. Short and sweet. But I have been in the hair industry for, oh my goodness, what's 2023, almost 23 years.
Wow.
I started my journey years ago as a natural hairstylist in Baltimore, Maryland. Shout out to the DMV. And I started off as a natural hairstylist. I started styling hair straight out of high school. So I started doing it while I was in college to make money on the side, as I was studying, and just really fell in love with the journey and seeing how Black women transition into their deep self-love. And I just felt like it was very purposeful for me. I was like, even though I'm in school, I can't abandon this journey. I just had a deep passion to assist women in that journey of becoming, you know, I guess, journey back to their self, I guess I would say, to their natural hair.
Yes.
And it was empowering for me. It was empowering for them, and I just fell in love with it. It led me to get my license. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. So I did natural hair for about 6 years before I got my license and realized, like, you know what, I really want to do this full time.
Right.
Once I realized that, that's when I decided to get my license. And then a couple of years after that, well, actually before that, I got my Sisterlocks certification while I was living in LA. So I moved from Baltimore, Maryland to Los Angeles, California, and that's when I fell in love with Sisterlocks, and that's when I was introduced to Sisterlocks.
Right.
It was created, you know, on the West Coast.
Right.
And so once I got there, I didn't even see it, literally. Like when I was in Baltimore, Maryland, I may have seen, you know, one person with Sisterlocks until I moved over, you know, moved to Los Angeles. And that's when I saw it. And it's almost like I had to get my certification to survive as a natural hairstylist. That's how popular it was.
Yes, really.
Just to sum it up, then that's when I moved to Atlanta. And Atlanta is where I really became the owner of Green Gold, and my purpose just went even further. Once I hit Atlanta, everything was just so organic. My clients came to me easily.
And I know you attract a certain style of client.
I attract a certain style of clients. My clients just feel very like they're supposed to be here, like you. The way we met, it just feels very organic. So I've been in Atlanta for 15 years now. I've been doing hair in Atlanta for 15 years, and it's just been absolutely amazing. It's been an amazing journey. I
That's
just love
amazing.
it.
You know, you mentioned self-love, and that really resonates with me because my journey back to full acceptance of myself, my Africanness, or being one of the African diaspora, and just really the hair being able to have a magical way of taking you within. That's what the Sisterlocks journey did for me more than anything else. And so it really was that reconnecting with my true self. And that self-validation and all of those things that comes through the hair. So you really are in the business of healing work. That's really what this is. I can imagine how many women you heal.
Yeah, I mean, the craziest thing is like, I feel like that, not just with the natural hair industry, but I feel like that's with the hair industry in general. I feel like a lot of times stylists are like therapists, healers. We're so many things to so many different people, and it's just like I have a deep respect for the hair industry and what we do, not only on a physical level, but on a spiritual level. Even though I'm a hairstylist, but I have a stylist because I want the same healing that I give to other people. And it was so crazy. I was just having a conversation with a friend the other day, and I said, you know what? Everybody always comes to me like, Nica, this is what I needed. This was the therapy that I needed. This was like the self-care I needed. And I guess when I go get my hair done, I'm so busy. And I felt it for the first time, you know, the other day. Because I guess, you know, I'm a hairstylist too. So I'm just there, like, go ahead and do my hair. And then I had, like, my energy was off one morning. And I went and got my hair done. And it was just like, I got up, I was like, oh my God. And like, I feel amazing.
Magic, right?
This is magic. And it was just like, I needed that. Something about someone taking care of your hair.
Yes. And with you, I will say this, like, when I would come in, you and I would dialogue and we would go back and forth. But the whole experience was always so pleasant because different locticians, your hair turns out different because their energy is different and the whole experience is different. But you're so delicate, and the flow, the way in which your life flows is very much communicated in the way your hands touch the client's hair, and it's just a beautiful experience. It always has been. Yeah, girl. Yes.
And it's an exchange of energy. That's why, you know, I feel like so blessed to have had like so many beautiful people that I come in contact with, because I feel the same way about your energy. Like when you come sit in my chair and just to kind of be in your hair and talk to you and get your energy is also very therapeutic for me, you know. So it is an exchange of energy, and I'm very grateful. And I think, you know, just for stylists to think about this, just you have to be intentional about who you have in your chair. You really do. I know we are like entrepreneurs, and it is about making money, but you also have to like safeguard your energy. You know, both client and stylist. Yes,
definitely. Nica, what would you say are some of the more or would be the most significant change that you've seen happen in this industry since you started, from the good and the bad?
I think I'll start with like the good. I guess the best thing that I've seen is just how natural hair has grown over the years. My hair is short. You already know I cut my hair just last year.
And we're going to let you talk about that because her locks were down here.
My locks were down to my back.
If you can see the close-up now, you would have lock envy because they are absolutely gorgeous.
Got a little funky cut.
Yes,
shout out to D Keratin in Atlanta.
D Keratin?
She cut my hair.
She cut the hell out of your hair.
She cut the hell out of my hair. She did her thing. I love you, D Keratin. You are amazing.
How do we find D Keratin?
Oh my goodness. If you I'm gonna have to find that because I want to make sure I get her information.
Yes.
But if you Google her, her name is DEE. CARRINGTON. D Keratin. And she's very, very popular here in Atlanta, but she's just from a stylist to a stylist. She is just, her skill level is just on another level, and she is just a master of her craft. She's an artist. I absolutely love her. I was so happy with my hair. The only person who's ever cut my hair has been me. She's the only other person I've let cut my hair, and she blew me away.
So it's blowing me away. It is blowing me away.
Sidebar.
Nica, when you curl it, how often do you have to curl it?
You know what? I do it like once a week, and I use like a soft foam roller that I just usually do at night. But it's very nice straight, and it's very nice crinkly as well. Like I braid it so it's crinkly, and then I roll it too. But it looks absolutely amazing. You can really see her cut when it's straight to see that.
Right.
She really did her thing.
Nica,
Yeah.
how many locks do you have? Because she's got like, ooh,
So
what a
now,
name.
so back to that question.
What a name, what a mighty name.
So back to that question, what's good or bad?
Yes.
That's the bad part.
Okay,
No,
let's
this
get
is-
that.
Because I'm from a school where we do not count locks.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
Y'all do
no.
not care. See, and that
No.
actually would cut down on a lot of the foolishness if we were not counting locks.
I don't know. So back to that question. So, because this is a good segue into the good or bad.
Okay,
I feel
okay.
like the good part is that so many more people do have natural hair. So many more people are embracing their natural hair, and I see like just the versatility, the things that people are doing with their natural hair, the locks and it's so beautiful. There was a time where I had my Sisterlocks and I could walk down the street and people would be like, what are those?
Right.
And now it's a little girl would come up to me and say, I like your Sisterlocks.
Oh, really?
And I'm just like,
Aw,
it's just beautiful.
it is.
It's just beautiful. I mean, we had the Little Mermaid. That we had like, you know, a beautiful black girl with locks playing Little Mermaid.
I know.
So it's just a different season.
It is.
It's not like, oh, you got natural hair, that's different or unique.
Right.
It's just like, no, that's black.
That's
like
right.
everything else. It's not like the natural hair community has grown.
Yes.
And it just feels like a part of our culture now.
Right,
Even
right.
with my daughter who goes to school, my daughter has locks.
Aw.
And when she goes to school, I see all the little girls with natural hair. And it's just like, oh my gosh.
It's the norm. It's becoming more of the norm.
It's the norm. So that's like the positive thing. I
Yes.
think that's like beautiful,
It
and I
is
love
beautiful.
it. I think I don't even know if they call it bad, but I feel like it can have a negative
Okay.
energy sometimes is the social media to a point.
Okay.
To a point, because it feels like there's so much information out there, especially when it comes to the natural hair industry, that everybody sometimes feels like an expert.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like that is not healthy for any industry. You know what I
No,
mean?
for any industry.
For
You're
any,
right.
for
You're
any
right.
industry.
You're right.
But it's good for people to be knowledgeable. But I feel like any other thing, like whether you were looking for a doctor, whether you were looking for an insurance, you have to vet. You have to vet people,
That's true.
and you need to do the same thing with your stylist.
Right.
You can't just look on Instagram and see pictures and feel like, oh, this is the person for me. Or you can't just look somewhere and say, oh, this person has this many followers and this is the person. You have to vet. Still do your research, still set up a consultation, and get to know your stylist.
Right.
Get the information that you need. And you know, the same thing for stylists. You know, if you feel like someone is coming in always trying to tell you what to do, then that's not the person that you need. There should be a mutual respect.
Right.
And people should trust experts at their craft.
Right. And you know, it's interesting you say that, because if we do the work on the front end, and we know we're always attracting people towards us, but we still have to vet. But if we do the work on the front end, we know the likelihood of us resonating with that person is going to be high. So for example, I could feel your energy over the phone. When I met you, I already knew, and we were in sync.
We were in sync.
And that's important.
I
could trust you. I could literally let my hair down and feel safe.
Exactly. And I think, you know, a lot of people, when they don't have that experience, and then it kind of goes to like that negative part where people are trying to like blast people. It's just, in my generation, there was just like a deep mutual respect between the client and the customer. My stylist was my everything, my whole life. And, you know, I don't know. I think that's kind of what it is. I feel like just do more vetting. And if you have a negative experience, be authentic and tell that person. And don't try and mess with their business.
Yeah,
you know?
communication is important. And I think we had a video I did with a sister who her loctician had let her go the day after she left, I think, from an appointment. And we talked about the importance of the rapport and the communication that you need to have that should allow a level of transparency that makes both people penetrable, and neither person has to feel attacked or to feel fearful, but they can engage at a healthy level and be really transparent and honest, so that if something comes up, they can clear it.
Yeah.
And handle it before it gets to a point where something less desirable happens.
Exactly.
And I think, as you've stated, that also has a lot to do with not only the client and what they're bringing and what their background experiences are, but the professional. You have 23 years in this. You have built and are building an empire. So there's a certain level of experience, there's a certain level of credibility, professionalism, communication skills, and so forth that you bring to the table that you're not willing to risk. And you have a certain conscionable level of service that you provide that has allowed you to grow.
Yeah.
And so I guess what I'm saying is we also have a lot of people out here, like, you've earned your stripes. You're a professional. There are also people out here who are doing the hair just to make the money, and they don't love it and have a passion for it. And they may be doing it out of wherever they may be doing it. It may not that is always an indicator, but you want to be with someone that is professional, that's credible, that values the work that they do and stands behind the work that they do. And I think that's important.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Like, exactly what you said. You have to have a certain amount of professionalism, and I think that takes time. A lot of times, there are people who have like great skills, but you have to, check their energy. You have to see how they answer, get back to you or different things. So, like I said, I feel like social media it's not that it's a negative thing, but it can affect our industry negatively if you don't use it properly. And I just feel like a lot of times with social media, it can be a lot of smoke and mirrors. Like, you really have to still put in time and energy to make sure that everything that everyone is displaying is authentic.
And I think you're in different arenas. We see people pop up. Maybe they haven't done the work in their own life. Maybe they haven't even, because to me, the credential is not everything, but number one, at the very least, the credential says that I've put the time in, I've invested, I've done the necessary research, I've developed at least the book knowledge and expertise that makes me able to do certain things in my field. And I think a lot of times, like you said, oftentimes that's what we're missing.
Yep,
Definitely.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of people, especially in the natural hair industry, like, you could wake up tomorrow and know how to do a 2-strand twist and say, I know how to do 2-strand twist, and get your business cards. And there's no shade to that, because that's how I started in college. But I knew once I wanted to do it professionally, I had to go get a certain amount of training. And I think that's necessary for stylists, even if you're just doing braids. Get under a mentor, get under someone that you feel like can teach you the business, because we're just not hairstylists, we're entrepreneurs. And I feel like it's important to get the right guidance, so you can know how to navigate this world, especially in black hair. And being African American women, sometimes our industry gets a lot of flack. I get that all the time, like, wow, this doesn't really feel like a hair salon I've ever been in. I'm like, wow, you're very professional, but it's almost like surprising.
And it shouldn't be, but
it shouldn't be. I know a lot of amazing professional stylists, and I just feel like there are still some really, really great professional people in our industry. And I have a lot of pride with being a hairstylist, a natural hairstylist. It has given me a lot of blessings over the years, so I hold it in high regard. But I know that people deal with a lot of issues, and so I'm not trying to get away from that. It's just that's why more vetting needs to happen, so you can make sure that you get with the right place.
Definitely. And I think, as I'm listening to you, that is so key, because the same way we have price points that draw in certain clientele, we have quality points that draw in certain clientele, and there's just a certain clientele that you're not going to ever get because you don't vibrate with that particular clientele. So when you look at the environment, there's a certain type of woman that's coming into this environment and that's allowing you to put your hands on her hair, and there's only a certain type of woman whose hands you're going to put your hair on in the first place.
Exactly.
And that is so key, and that's why the vetting is important, so that you are, what do we say, equally yoked.
Yes.
With whoever you choose, you need to be equally yoked, because if you're not equally yoked with Nneka, no matter what she's trying to pour into you, and no matter how she can take your hair from zero to hero, you won't be able to benefit.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Nneka, what kind of hair are you doing outside of Sisterlocks? What else can a person come in here and expect in terms of what you offer?
That's an awesome question. So like I said before, I was a licensed cosmetologist.
Right.
Just in the past 8 years, my focus has been locks. That's all I do is just Sisterlocks, traditional locks. I've had traditional locks twice before I had Sisterlocks. So they are my passion as well. Like, I'm not just like a Sisterlock person. I love locks. You could come in here with 10 locks to 400. That's
So you
why
do
I don't do the
Microlocks,
counting.
I guess. That's why. And it's,
Well, yeah, I do.
Called?
So I don't. The only Microlocks that I do is Sisterlocks.
Okay,
I know
got
there's
it.
just a lot of like different terminology out there, but the only small locks I do is Sisterlocks. Now I do a medium-sized interlocking method, and some people might say that they're micro-sized, but to me they're not. They're like medium. They're like the size between traditional locks and Sisterlocks. So if you're not looking for something large and you're not looking for something extremely small or micro, I do interlocks, but they are outside of the Sisterlock size. So they can't be called micro in here. I don't know, and they can't be called, they're just medium-sized locks and they're traditional locks.
And they're a combination of, or they're in between the Sisterlock size and traditional lock. Is that what you're saying, Nica?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's my locks are my specialty. Like I said before, I was a licensed cosmetologist, so I used to do color and all kinds of styles before. But since having my daughter, I've pulled back significantly, and I am looking for stylists who have those specialties. So if you are a very professional hairstylist and you are looking for a warm and inviting, clean, professional space to bring your clients, we are looking for a stylist, 2 stylists. We have 2 spaces available, and you can be a natural hair stylist, braider. The only thing that we don't do here is chemicals. We don't do relaxers, and we do color, but we don't do any chemical hair. But if you press hair, braid hair, you are welcome to
That's
come
amazing.
here.
So that's wonderful. So tell us where you're located and how they can find you to make an inquiry about the stylist position.
So if you are interested in the styling position, please send us your resume, or you can just shoot us an email to potentially set up an interview at info@greengold. That's the word green, the word gold, hairandbody.com.
We'll make sure we put that at the bottom of the screen. So if you want to reach her, you said you're looking for 2 stylists?
2 stylists. info@greengoldhairandbody.com. And then I know you said I'll give you the number as well.
Yes, definitely.
So if they want to call the shop number. But yes, I've pulled back significantly. I know I was just telling you that we had our own conversation on the side. But like I said, I've been in this industry for 20 years. I want to get more into the management side and mentoring other stylists up to have a similar journey as me and have a positive experience as a hairstylist. That's been my experience, and now I'm kind of like shifting into a different season. I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited to have people here that I can guide and help.
That's beautiful. Nica, what should a prospective stylist know about you in terms of the professionalism that they need to come to the table with, or some of the general expectations? I know you've built a pretty amazing business here, so I imagine you're quite selective about. You're not just going to have any run-of-the-mill person in your shop. I'm sure.
I think all I can speak about is like my attributes and what my beautiful clients. What my beautiful clients have told me. I mean, I feel like you have to have like a deep passion about hair. You just have to have a deep passion about it. You have to love it. Kind of like what you mentioned earlier. I don't want someone that's like, oh, I'm just doing it because it's just, you have to have like a certain pride about your work. You have to have like a certain pride about your professionalism. And just this journey as a hairstylist, it would be great to have people who are licensed cosmetologists and have some experience, are great at building relationships with their customers, and just great at their skills. So if you are licensed, that is just like my absolute top requirement. I would love for everyone to be licensed. If you're a braider, you would just have to have like professionalism and a portfolio. You would have to have a portfolio of your work, but preferably someone who's licensed.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Nica, what would you say, or who would you say is a good candidate for Sisterlocks?
I would say anyone is a good candidate for Sisterlocks. I feel like my Sisterlock clients are typically people who like structure. They like consistency. You know,
it's amazing you say that, because that is so, like when I was looking for Sisterlocks, I'm looking at the style, but you're so right. When I look at where I am now in my journey, structure that's so,
yeah.
She's on point.
So, I mean, I feel like those are like the personality traits. They like organization. They want to know that they can keep their hair a certain way. They want their hair to look a certain way. Right. So, you know, once again, I'm like, I love the whole natural hair journey. You can come in here with an afro. You can come here with some Rasta locks, and I'm like, ooh, you know, like everybody is different. I just love the natural hair journey, but I realize like my Sisterlock clients, they like a certain structure to their look. They like a certain organization to their look, and they like a certain polished look.
I love that.
And so I would think a great candidate would be anyone, but I feel like the investment of time and energy is something that you have to think about. Right. The time that it takes to install the locks. And the upkeep and how often that you need to come. Once again, I'm not one of those stylists like this is the end all be all, but I feel like through consultations, you learn what works for you. I've had clients that come and they think they want Sisterlocks, and after the consultation, I let them know, like, I don't know if this is gonna work for you. You know, because Sisterlocks, I would suggest that you at least come every 6 weeks, and it's kind of mandatory for the structure of the hair. With Sisterlocks, you're dealing with small strands of hair. And for it to stay strong, you have to continue with that technique. Now, if you have fragile hair, you don't have to come as often in the beginning. It is suggested like every 4 to 5 weeks. But if your hair feels a little bit more fragile and you don't want as much tension, you might not be a candidate, period. And I have had to tell people like your hair just looks a little fragile, and your scalp, you know, the hair looks like it's thinning a little bit. In some cases, Sisterlocks has helped people with thinning hair. Right. Okay. But in other cases, I've seen where the scalp just looks very sensitive. You know, when I touch it, it turns red. You know, you can kind of look. And I've rarely had to do it, but there has been some cases where I was like, I don't know if this is going to be the best thing for you, the tension that you have to deal with. And you know, but I feel like anyone could be a candidate. It's really based on your lifestyle and your the healthiness of, you know, the healthiness of your hair. But like I said, my Sisterlock clients usually are people who like a certain polished look. They like a certain structure to their hair. It's almost like they want the low maintenance of locks, but they still want a well put together look, where they feel like they can experience a curl or experience a bun, and it's structured and it's tight and it looks amazing. And so I feel like a great candidate for my Sisterlock clients, a person who probably gets their hair done often. You know, like before I got my Sisterlocks, I wore like kinky twists, and I would get them done every 2 months religiously. Because I just don't like my hair not being done. I don't like it, you know. So I feel like people who are already like on a structured schedule,
have a little more regimentation.
You have to have a little bit more regimentation. Like my clients who have traditional locks, I may not see them for months. And I'm not saying that that's like the right thing to do. I'm just saying that you have more flexibility because the locks are larger.
You brought up some important points, because one of the things that I liked about you when I met you, because I think it's been maybe 4 or 5 years, 6 years maybe, off and on, is that I was able to kind of get in, and because we fit, you know, if you could work me in, you worked me in when I needed to come in. But I don't ever remember feeling like when you looked at my hair, I felt like when you looked at my hair, you would look at it for health. You may make some commentary about my hair, but I never remember feeling as though I had to do something this way, or that way. I don't know if that's because I was coming and going, or I don't know what that was, but I always felt really comfortable, because for the majority of my journey, and this is what I want you to speak to, or I want you to share with the audience. For the majority of my journey of Sisterlocks for 13 years, my retightenings were outside of that window. Most of the time they were between 10 and 12, and my hair never suffered from that, but also I was very particular about the pre-grooming stuff that I would do prior to coming in, making sure it was, I also would always wash my hair, but making sure that it was untangled. Certain things that I feel like I did. For example, I also was strengthening my hair with oils at the very beginning of my journey. That was a personal choice that I made, but can you speak to that, Nica?
Yeah, I can. And so, once again, I guess I kind of, you know, go by the health of the hair.
Okay.
So if I haven't seen you in a while, I always suggest to you. I always make suggestions. I always say, you know, typically the longest that you want to go without doing your sister locks is about 8 weeks.
Okay.
If I see your hair is maintaining its health at 10, and that's all that you can do, I will try to work with you. I probably will charge a little more for that because that's more time and more hair for me. You know, like your hair is absolutely beautiful, but it's very, very high density. And I find that people who can wait that long have high density. So that's probably why I hadn't said anything to you, because there's some people who just have hair that can withstand a lot.
Okay.
There's some people who
And
could
it's
just have
interesting,
hair.
like when I look at my mom and my sister, I've always considered my hair medium density
No, it's
in
very
certain
high
areas.
density.
Really?
It's very high density. It's absolutely gorgeous. You know, I always tell you that your hair's like
I
a
know.
lion's
Well,
mane.
look,
It's
well,
just
well, it's
gorgeous.
flattering.
Look, I'm trying
I
not to
wanna
touch
do
it.
that
It is just beautiful.
Don't believe the hype,
No,
though.
it's-
Don't believe the hype.
And I do this every time she comes here. I'm just like, oh, it's just gorgeous. It's look at this woo! It's just so pretty. I love this bun. But you have hair that can. Some people are just blessed like that, and you have like hair that can withstand a lot. So I'll give you an example. I have a client who travels from Texas to see me. Because
That's
she
dedication.
cannot find, she can't find someone who specializes in sister locks. She's in like
Really?
a far out part. Or if I knew the part, I probably need to say it on this video so we can help her. find someone. But she travels and she has density like yours. And she has a new baby. So she can't get here every 6 weeks. So sometimes there have been times where I haven't seen her for like a whole 4 months.
Oh wow.
And and we have to work really, really hard to kind of get her hair back to where it needs to be. But she has like this thick lion's mane hair, and even though it's still not the healthiest that I would like to see it, because I feel like she's waiting too long in between. But her hair can do it. Her hair can do it because it's that thick. And nothing is, you know, she's still experiencing some breakage because it's the technique of sister locks that requires those strands to be pulled together. It really is a science. It's not really about money and you coming often. It's just that the way that you are working with small strands of hair, you need that structure to be put in on a regular basis for the integrity of your hair. So for an example, my hair is low density to medium density.
That's what I was going to ask you, because your locks are so little.
They're so little.
I've always had lock envy. I always wanted them that small.
And so my hair, I can't go, when I go past 4 weeks, my hair gets fragile.
And how long have you had your locks, Nica?
These locks I've had for over 15 years.
But as you're doing your hair, you're gentle. You're gentle as hell.
Yeah, I'm very gentle with everybody's hair.
And you are extremely gentle. And that makes a difference. Because if your hair is tender, or not your hair is tender, if someone is not gentle and you already have hair that may be compromised, that there's going to be a consequence to some of that.
I want us to speak to that because that's
Please
something that
do.
bothers me on the deepest level.
Ooh,
and
please,
not just
please
not
do.
not
I
just
have horror stories, Nica, and horror story pictures.
well, I feel like with anything, not with just sister locks, not with just locks in general, it's with hair, specifically our hair, black hair. The myth that, you know, our hair is rough, our hair is that you need to rough it. I'm talking about even people who, I'm sure this is the part that I do love about social media and the part that I do love about the industry right now, because we know our hair is fragile. We know that you're supposed to be very gentle. Nobody's supposed to yank a comb from the top of your scalp and you hear all that cracking down. Just to gently comb. Gently comb it out. Use like you know, really good quality bone brushes and seamless combs and bone combs, and you deserve the best.
Right.
Our hair deserves the best. The people have told us our hair is nappy and it's rough. It's not true.
It's
we
not
have
true.
we
I
have
love
we
that
have
you're
we
saying
have
that.
we have some of the most fragile hair ever. Our hair can break. You could just pull it like this and it'll snap. So you have to be, not just with Sisterlocks, not with black hair in general, gentle.
And you're so
Gentle.
right. And I want you to even expound more on that, because Nica, I have different textures of hair throughout my hair. Like my hair right here can endure anything. Anything at all.
Yeah.
That's not the same in certain other areas of my hair where it's a little bit weaker. My density shifts in different areas of my hair. But I can do anything, but this hair is straighter and finer. The more wave that I have in my hair, the easier it seems that my hair breaks. This is strong as hell. I have separated this so many times into smaller ones, and I'm growing another one here right now, but that's the same as this over here, but it's that softer hair. Yeah. It's a whole area of much softer hair that's different than the rest of the hair.
You can have multiple textures throughout your hair, but it doesn't matter. Any kinky, coily to wavy to any type of texture hair is fragile. All of it. All of it is fragile. From the waviest to the tightest needs to be taken care of with care and gentleness, because it's prone to breakage. You know, a lot of times people will call our hair coarse, and our hair isn't coarse. Asians have coarse hair, and when I say coarse hair, I'm talking about the size of the strand. So when people think about coarse, they think about texture. Our hair isn't coarse. Our hair is fine and it's fragile. And
I love that.
Even
fine and fragile.
It's fine and it's fragile. Even the thickest hair, even your hair being as thick as it is, what makes it healthy and what makes it be able to withstand a lot is because there's a lot of strands. That's what density means. It's a lot of strands. So if I pull up this lock, you're gonna have so many strands within this lock, opposed to if I pull up my lock, I might have like a fraction of those strands. So it's not, you know, the density is the amount of strands that you have per square inch, but the fineness is the strands. And a lot of times, whether it's wavy or you know, wavy or curly or tight, our strands are fine. And so therefore, our, you know, gentleness is, as far as like the tightening, yes, gentle. I never go through for that last one. You know how some people try to put the tool in there and try to get that last hook so it looks all tight. It's just like,
I can't.
It's still gonna stink. It's still gonna look uniform. You don't have to go get that last little one and squeeze it through. If my tool is squeezing through and I feel any type of scalp lifting, I'm not going for that last one. And a lot of my clients over the years have thanked me for that. They're like, thank you so much,
because it saves hair.
It saves hair. You don't need to pull through. And I just think that's us sometimes. You gotta think when we get braids and even before Sisterlocks, people feel like tight is better, and it's not the case.
And you're so right, because I remember when we would go to the salons to get our hair, the individual, the box braids. You might see the person who's braiding your hair missing the whole first inch of their hair, and you see the braids that you can see as tight as this, and we go in there and then we spend 3 days doing this, and you can't lift your hair up. And even when we were doing the cornrows, I remember the students that would come into my school after getting their hair done. The cornrows, you could see the skin puckering up. And it's like, you're right, we became used to the tighter the better.
And it's not true.
It's not true. It's not.
So all across the board, it doesn't have to be tight to look good. It doesn't have to be tight to be done correctly. You know, I just feel like we have to shift our mindset when dealing with our hair, and knowing that tight doesn't mean right. You know, I think some stylists just think that, especially if they're coming from the world of braiding or any other type of style. They're just like, oh yeah, 'cause when I do one, and people usually like it. Like some people like, you ain't get all that, you didn't gather all this.
They want to see the parts.
They want to see the parts, and you can still do that. You can still have like that uniform look, you know, structured look, very like tight, polished look without going in for that last hair and trying to grab all the hairs up. It's not the best for our hair.
And that's such an amazing point, because when I look at your hair, your locks are so tiny, and there'd be no way that they could withstand that if you were not gentle with it, if you were not recognizing that it's, you know, like you said, it's fragile and fine, and it needs that extra delicate touch. And that's so critical because with a lot of the people who come on the channel, I mean, Nneka, they're dealing with massive amounts of hair loss and also difficult retightnings. The last lady told me she cried for a week. And it's just the kind of trauma that it can be avoided, and it should be avoided. And it's certainly not the kind of trauma that I've ever experienced.
Right. I feel like this, and this, you know, I know that there's like different situations with different, you know, stylists, but I feel like if you're experiencing anything, I don't care if you're going to a chiropractor or a doctor, but I feel like if you're dealing with anyone that is harming you, making you uncomfortable, you should leave.
Doctor,
loctician.
Yeah, we sit in that chair and we
why sit if something is painful? So you have to think about that for individuals that feel like they're going somewhere. You know, I was just like, I went to like a retreat. You know, we always talk about the retreats and yoga and everything.
Yes.
But, you know, she was talking about like how sometimes we just feel like we're supposed to go through struggle and pain. Like, lay that burden down.
Lay that burden down.
Girl, if they're not taking good care of your hair, girl, leave.
Bye.
Bye.
Girl,
so I don't
bye.
know. I don't really know what to speak to that. Is whether it's just that you deserve quality in every aspect of your life. So don't support anyone that's not giving you what aligns with you.
You're making me think about it from both perspectives, because we have to ask ourselves, why are we continuing to go to experience pain?
Right.
What is it in me that feels like I'm supposed to experience the pain?
I get people come to me all the time and they say, well, I can't find a really good Sisterlock person. You know, it's hard to find. Like my client who's coming to me from Texas, she can't find someone in Texas. So I know it gets challenging, but then you just have to find other alternatives. But if it's something that's causing you to hurt or be in pain, that can't be what's for you.
Right.
So you have to just think about what options you have. We always have options. Sometimes we think in our mind we don't, but you always have options. And you have to believe that. So I don't know how to speak to that when I feel really bad for the people that are experiencing it. But I feel like in any industry, you're gonna have your good and you're gonna have your bad.
That's right.
And it's up to you to make the decision where you invest your money, your time, your energy. And if you feel like someone is not offering you quality service, then you have to leave.
That's right. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Super duper point. Tell us about Green Gold.
Okay, so Green Gold was created. I have to thank all my clients over the years that have supported me on this journey, because it's really been like organic. It came from me wanting to find, once again, good quality products that actually worked. I started making it way before, how long has it been now? Well, I've had this shop for 5 years. I'm having my 5-year anniversary celebration. So I've been here for 5 years and it's been absolutely amazing. I'm here in Sandy Springs, Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia. And so I'm experiencing 5 years in the Green Gold Clean Beauty Boutique, where we have the products that we have in the front. We're sitting in the front right now. Yes. And then I have a salon space in the back. But I started Green Gold. It has to be over 10 years now. I just started making bottles of oil for my clients because I saw that they did have different scalp conditions and different scalp issues, and I would go get different products that said they were good for certain things, like it's good for dryness, it's good for growth, and it's good for this. And when I would use it, I didn't see anything. Now times have changed. There's a lot of amazing products out there. That's another positive. Like when I was starting way back in the day,
we had some options.
Right. Now we got some options.
Yes.
We have some options, and there are amazing products out there, including my own. But when I started doing it, I just didn't see a lot of transparency, a lot of like, you know, you would go to the beauty supply and they're like all natural, and you look on the back and you're like, what is this? And then you would like research it and you would say, wait a minute, that don't sound natural. You know, like this don't sound like something I'm supposed to be using on my scalp or nothing. So that's what I experienced when I started creating my oils. And I was like, can we just get back to the simple things?
Right, simplicity.
Simplicity. I found, you know, oils that just work well with our chemistry, work well with our pH, or work well with like how, you know, just oils that complemented our own oils. And I was just like, it's not so complicated as people make it. It's just getting back to purity, getting back to simplicity, and getting back to high quality, and knowing once again that you are, it's due to you to use the best on your skin, on your hair. It's due to you that is your right to use the best. Worth it. Yes, and that's where the name green gold comes from. It's green because it comes from nature, but it's gold because it's luxury, baby. It's about the best. It's about using the best. Yes, it's shopgreengold.com.
Check out greengold.com, y'all. She's got a wonderful line of products. I mean, you can look around here and you see some of the beauty that's in the shop. You can come in here and get a lot of different things.
Exactly, and it's also about knowing that nature is the best. It's that alignment of like feeling like, oh, when you get the purest, you do get the best. It is the luxury. We live in a society sometimes where it takes so much for us to find pure ingredients. It shouldn't be that way. But when you can find something in its purity and it's already comes from nature, designed to heal and to moisturize and to strengthen, that is the best. That is luxury. So it's the green and the gold, and that means nature, and that means luxury.
Nature
high quality.
And luxury. That's right. I'm all about that quality. Y'all know we're all about that quality.
And so it started with, like I said, seeing the elements and just kind of making blends. But over the years, I started with one product that you know about, the cocoa mango oil.
I remember that from way
back in the day. And
then
my botanical tonic oil, which started off as like a scalp healing oil, and then it turned into a growth oil.
Okay.
So my growth oil didn't really start as a growth oil. It initially was just oils that I found that healed the scalp, and through healing the scalp, it started growing the hair.
It started growing the hair.
So people come to me like, this grew back my balls, this grew back this. And so it's like that picture of hairstylist story where you just start making concoctions. And it starts growing. It's like,
it's healing though.
Yes, that's how it started.
Yeah. You didn't make it with that intention. You made it for another intention, but then it morphs into something that actually heals.
And it actually heals. Exactly.
The layer of the hair. Yeah.
So now we're up to a lot of products now. In the boutique, we have soaps. We have vegan soaps.
Gosh, that soap that I got last time.
Oh my gosh.
Girl, it was wonderful.
Oh my gosh.
I need to get another bar today while I'm here. In addition to my beautiful t-shirt, Vibrate Higher.
Vibrate Higher.
Can I show them? Keep talking. I gotta show them the t-shirt.
So we have skincare. I'm going to sum it up because we could talk all day.
Look, and we do. We talk for like 5 or 6 hours. Dun, dun, dun. Vibrate Higher. Can this be purchased on the site, Nica?
Yes, it can be purchased on Shop Green Gold. And so yeah, that's just to sum it up. Yeah.
Beautiful shirt.
Vibrate Higher.
Beautiful shirt. Beautiful sister. Beautiful vibe. Vibration. Everything about my experience with her over the years has been stellar. It's been 4.5. On the 4.0 scale.
Because you can tell, you see this skin, she's also into making products. So I don't take it lightly when it's someone else that does similar things to what I do and they respect me. I'm like, thank you. I got goosebumps. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I can't even. It's been a while. We saw each other once during COVID. I think I came here, and then I think you got a Reiki session at the beginning of
I sure did.
I think that's the last time.
So it's only reason why, girl. You know, only reason why I'm not getting my Reiki sessions is because you're not close, girl. Do I need to get my car drive?
I'm only distance now. I send the energy at a distance.
Okay, so I need to do that. But I love being in your. I love being your energy.
I know, and we miss. I mean, I miss a lot because we have had some beautiful healing conversations. They really have been so depthful.
You've been a big part of my journey.
You've been a huge part of my journey.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw her on Nica Naturals, her website, I saw those beautiful eyes and I was like, that's my girl right there. She's going to be the one to do my hair. And it manifested. And we still have this beautiful friendship after all of these years. I mean, Nica, I think it's been maybe 9 or 10 years technically. When I think about where I was in my journey, when I made that call to you, I was at about 5 years. So it's been about 8 years.
Yeah. But we were instantly
Yes,
sisters. We knew
yes.
it.
Oh my
instantly.
gosh, because she doesn't
Instantly.
take just anybody.
I don't.
I don't even know if you were taking people at certain times
think
because
so.
I would have mentioned her. Y'all know I mentioned her a couple times, kind of like on the slide. But I always told y'all she's not taking new clients because that was my understanding. But she definitely is looking for stylists and clients who can come in for those
Yes, we're
stylists.
still
too.
looking for clients
Will
as
you
well.
be having people who can install Sisterlocks, or will you be the one who'll still be doing Sisterlocks?
I will. Well, that depends. I can still do a few installs. So how I do it is I have a couple of available spots a year, and that's just because my schedule is
two
tight.
a year, high demand.
Yeah.
So 2 a year. So are you looking? Could you take a couple now?
I
if
could
they
take a
come
couple
in?
now because
Two.
of you.
First come, first serve, y'all. That's all I can say. I'm gonna put it at the
And
beginning
then-
of the video.
and then
she
I
will
am-
install your Sisterlocks and do a wonderful job, but she's only taking 2 new clients this entire year.
Yeah, and then my stylist, I'm looking for someone potentially to do Sisterlocks, and so, like I said, I vet my people. We talked about that. So, if I do have someone here, you will be in amazing hands, guaranteed. So, if I can't take you, please still reach out. Hopefully, through this video, I find my people, my tribe, and we find some other amazing stylists to take care of your hair. So.
And we love it. And I just want to thank you again. And I want you again to just briefly let them know how to get in touch with you. If I'm vouching for her, like we used to live in a day where somebody's word was their bond, and if they vouched for you, they almost were willing to lay down their life for you. Well, we may not be in that space today, but I'm vouching for her, and I can tell you she is an amazing real estate agent as well. So if you got land that you're trying to sell or you're looking to buy, Nica, can you tell them where they can get in touch with you?
So you can reach me for the shop. Like I said, you can reach me at info@greengoldhairandbody.com if you're interested in working here. If you are interested in shopping with us, you can come at 286 Hammond Drive, Sandy Springs, Georgia 30328. And we also have a website, www.shopgreengold.com. And yes, I do real estate. If you wanted to reach me via real estate, please give me a call, 404-587-3002. And you can also use my number in reference to the shop as well. It's just that you probably will get a better contact with me with the email. But if you have to reach out to me via phone as well, it's 404-587-3002. I just ask that you give me 24 hours to respond.
She's super busy, y'all.
I'm super busy, but once again, I do real estate, and I am with ESP Realty. So you can also find me at Nneka.Otim at exprealty.com.
We love
Yeah.
that. We love that. Thank you so much, Nica. I know. Thank you so much.
So we're gonna chat it up some more.
Girl, you
And
want to get
and
something to eat?
food.
Yeah, we want to get some food.
Okay, yes we are. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Girl,
and
thank you so much for sharing, because you busy, baby. You are busy. I know you are busy. Y'all say bye to the beautiful Nica.
You can purchase your copy of Manifesting Your Masterpiece at Amazon.